Hello, my name is Joshua Rudd with Rudd's Home Farm, and today we're going to talk about urban farming and why it's on the rise. Stay tuned to find out more. So urban farm is where people grow at their homes, on rooftops, in warehouses, pretty much growing anywhere that's not on a farmland far away from population. So people are, we're getting tired of bad food. Romaine lettuce is recalled yearly, sometimes multiple times a year, because of unsanitary conditions of the workers, food handlers, employees, and so on and so forth. And so they get E. coli, and E. coli is of course bad for our health, and they have to recall all this lettuce that's made in California over and over again. And so people are just kind of getting tired of bad food. For instance, food at the grocery store is already old by the time it gets there, often old. This is how long a lot of fruits and vegetables sit at the store, sit in storage before it actually hits the shelf. Number one, apples, 9 to 12 months. It sits in a storage unit before it gets to the shelf in the bag. Carrots, up to 9 months, can sit in a storage place somewhere. Potatoes, up to 12 months. Potatoes can be up to a year old, people. Tomatoes can be up to 6 weeks old, and even lettuce can be up to 4 weeks. Lettuce has the shortest lifetime of everything, and so it could sit somewhere for a month before it even gets to the shelf for you to buy. And then that's why when you buy stuff from the store, it often just goes bad within a few days or even a week or two. But normally, if you were to cut fresh from your garden, and then you could leave it out for a week or two, and it looked still fresh. And people often buy food for the organic properties, and if lettuce is 4 weeks old, a lot of the nutrients and the good beneficial stuff for your body has already gone by the time you get to it. So people are really sick of that. And people are turning to growing their own food and doing urban farming, reinventing the wheel, because when you're a smaller farm, you pay more attention and you can get the food to the end user faster, which comes to our second point, location. Farms are often far from cell location. So the farmland is far from the cities. So those farms not only have to grow the produce in mass, harvest it, collect it, but then they need to travel with the food to the storage units, to the warehouses. And then from the warehouses, it sits there, and then it can finally go to the stores, and then it sits at the back of the store until it's finally ready to go to the shelf, and then it sits on the shelf until you buy it. So there's a lot of distance traveled for your fruit before you even put it in your basket to buy it. And people are kind of tired of just old food. You pay money for this food that's old. I don't like it. That's one of the big reasons why I have an urban farm myself. Urban farmers will always have, if you grow food for yourself, you will always have surplus. When it's pretty awesome to grow, put a few seeds down, and then you can get way more than you can handle. So urban farmers often sell at farmers markets, and those farmers markets, you can pull in quite an income. A lot more people are going nowadays just because we're just looking for alternatives than just the usual store-bought stuff. And so urban farmers have anybody can go to the farmers market and sell their extras, and it's pretty good. So urban farmers have the fresh advantage. So if you go to a farmer's market, it's almost guaranteed to be fresh fruit within a few days, up to a week old, maybe 2 weeks. But even if something's 2 weeks old, it's still way fresher than the stuff you buy at the store. And so a lot of people go to farmers markets A lot of people do it that way. Also, urban farmers can sell direct to their customers. So this is if you're starting a business, you can be like, well, how do I make money with all the surplus vegetables? You could sell direct to people can come to your place and then buy your extra. And so it's a good way for urban farmers to just, you're already growing food, why don't you sell your surplus? The cost of growing your own food is a lot cheaper than buying from the store. Accounting the lights and all the materials I buy here, it is a lot cheaper for me to grow my food than to buy it on a regular basis, amount per amount at the store. You usually get so much out of a harvest and so much plentiful that you don't even need to buy anything from the store. You can do it all year round. And so I'm actually saving money growing my own food. Land cost, as the population increases, the land decreases. And as the land decreases, the cost of available land increases. And there's already a lot of farmland already out there. But so if you want to buy some land to do some farming, okay, like I actually did this. I wanted to be a farmer. I had, big aspirations to be a farmer, to go and buy farmland and start it up and cut my land out of the ground and get in there and make a ton of money. But then as I looked into it, I quickly did not go through with that because, number one, the land cost is so high. Who wants to start millions of dollars in debt? The land you can purchase for farming is often not even suitable for farming. You're talking about woodlands that have hundreds of trees, and you're still paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for this woodland that you can't even use. You have to cut all the trees down, dig up all the roots, and then prep your farmland before you could even make a penny. Hills, gullies, pretty much anything that's not generally flat is unsuitable for farming. You can't get your tools on there. So it's like I tried to find a place where I could, maybe buy unused land. And number one, it was really far away. Number two, it was really expensive. And number three, it wasn't suitable. And then number four, the land I did find, comes to find out, you can't farm everywhere. So it's actually illegal to farm in a residential area. I didn't know this. Like it's not okay to, in certain areas, you can't farm with equipment because like all the noise you make with your tools and equipment. And also, if you buy let's say if you buy a plot of land in a let's say a subdivision. Let's say you buy an empty house subdivision. They tore the house down. The house is gone, and it's just a plot. You cannot store any of your tools on that land unless you have a primary structure. So let's say if you farm there, you work there, you want to put a shed for your tools. It is actually illegal to place that shed on that property unless you have a primary house where people could live in. And it's like, well, I thought I could at least buy a little bit of something and I could just work that land, but it's just, everything is just, it's crazy. So another thing that discouraged me from, trying to become a farmer or something like that is I learned that farmers actually work their land at a loss or make very little money on top of it, especially like family-owned farms. I was surprised that, people who would, you got the big combines, you got the harvesting machines, you got the planting machines, you got the big giant tractors, and at the end of it, after you sow the field, you spray it for pesticides, you put your fertilizer down, you harvest, package, and get it to the store, that you literally didn't make any money. And then you have to have another job on top of that to supplement your family's income so you can actually, have a living. And so I was like, well, that's kind of intense, a lot of work just to not make any money. I thought farmers, like, I see the big machines, I'm like, surely they're making a lot of money, but I looked into it, they're not making anything. They're just, it's kind of sad that just like you do all that work, you toil on that land, you work really hard, and then you make $1 million, but your expenses was $100,000 or something. So you made like 20 grand farming all year long. So it's sad. And I couldn't do that to my family, and it's just sad to see that that's what farmers have to deal with now. So that's why I decided just to farm on my own land. I garden outside, I garden in here, and just because I really think I could add value to my family's palate, and I could sell the surplus to others and give it away to friends and family. And it's the taste of fresh fruit is like amazing. That's like the difference between a home cooked food and then like a greasy fast food burger. It's like, ugh. We don't eat fast food that much, like once or twice a month at most. So just the difference of taste from a home cooked meal. It's just like when you freshly cut lettuce off of this and eat it right away. Amazing. I see why people farm and eat that stuff, because it's amazing. But when you buy it from the store, I don't really taste that amazing taste anymore. It's just kind of tastes bland and blah and old, and it's just like that's why I'm really getting into this. So once again, urban farming is on the rise, and I think you guys should get into it too. Let me know in the comments if urban farming is something you may do in the future, or if you do farmers markets, or tell me what kind of organic methods you may do to, get out of the grocery store. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.